Hi everyone, this is Violet, also known as Onilink. I wanted to give a quick update about the status of the channel. If you noticed a few weeks ago, I did post a channel update, specifically a community post detailing how I was shutting down the channel effective immediately. This has not changed, but I do want to give an update and just some more details on exactly what's going on and why I'm shutting down the channel, as well as what future plans are. I do not intend to quit making videos. I would very much like to find some other way to distribute my videos at some point so that my Let's Plays can continue. I greatly enjoy doing it. When I do come back to Let's Playing, though, I do want to pull back and do fewer videos, more sparingly. I don't want to be... I think doing the 10 videos a week that I've been doing for the last several years has not been great for my free time, for my ability to do other things, for my ability to just relax, especially since I also have a full-time job. So I will probably, when I get back to making videos, pull back a little bit, do fewer videos at once. I do want to continue Final Fantasy XIV as well as whatever other Let's Plays I have in the works. I still need to finish Chained Echoes. I really want to finish Chained Echoes, and then whatever comes next. The Patreon is going to probably end of December 2025. I'm going to unpublish it until further notice, just because I don't want to be charging people for videos that aren't getting uploaded in a publicly viewable format. If I do find some way to release the videos, again, I will republish the Patreon, and I'll just have whatever new way I'm uploading videos, I'll post it there. If you want to keep up to date on what I am doing and what my plans are for distributing videos, making sure people can actually watch them, I do have a blog, which will be in the description of this video. You can go there. It's www.pixelkitty.org. I primarily use the blog for discussing my game development, indie game development that I've been working on, as well as any other stuff. Like occasionally I'll talk a little bit about politics. Occasionally I'll talk about the media I'm watching or reading. Or I'll talk about things that I'm doing in the gaming world, like some Final Fantasy XIV rating that I've been doing. Anyways, that's... If I do have an update on where I'm going to be posting my Let's Play videos, I will try to also post an update to YouTube, just so I can reach people here. In the meantime, why am I shutting down the YouTube channel? Why am I shutting down my Let's Plays? Oh, and one last note, I am going to be leaving the Let's Play channel and its videos up for the time being. I'm not going to take it down until I have a firm plan on how I'm going to distribute videos that's not through YouTube, or if YouTube fixes the issues that I'm having. Okay, so why am I shutting down the Let's Play channel? So you may be aware, there's this technology called generative AI. It is an interesting technology, I will give them that. It is based on statistical prediction of the most likely next thing to happen, or the most likely response to some prompt. And it is, in some ways, very impressive. In other ways, absolutely horrendous in every conceivable way. So it is based on statistical prediction. If you give like a chatbot, an AI, to be specific with the terminology, I'm referring to a large language model styled, machine learning based, generative artificial intelligence. That is what I'm referring to with this. There may be closely related types of artificial intelligence that may have some or all of the same issues, but that's specifically the context that I'm talking about right now. So it is an interesting technology in some ways. I will admit that it is neat that you can have a model that predicts the statistically most likely next response to some prompts. Like you ask a chatbot something and it will give you the statistically most likely response, and that's the text it gives back is convincing. I will not say it is accurate or correct or even good. I will say it is impressive that it is convincing, but that is also where it becomes terrifying. What are the issues with generative AI? What are the issues I have with AI? One, because it's based on statistical prediction, it doesn't have any sense of correctness or rightness to it. So it will just say whatever it thinks is the most likely thing to come out, with a little bit of randomness added to it, just for a little bit of flavor, I guess, because randomness has never been an interference in truth. So yeah, it doesn't have a concept of what is correct or what is right. It doesn't have a concept of truth. So it will just spit out bullshit. And if it's been taught bullshit, it will love to spit that bullshit right back out. So you can't necessarily trust it to be accurate. So if you are asking it information where you need, if you're asking for information where you need it to be accurate, you can't trust that it's going to give you that. So it's not trustworthy. Awesome. So that kind of makes it useless for most purposes that people would want to use it for. And right off the bat. Second issue is the way it is trained. To make these statistical models work to the level that they do, which is already not... They're convincing, but they're not good because they don't know what correctness or truth is, so they will just straight up be wrong all the time. In order to train these models to get them to the level they're at, you need to give them all of the text written or all of the videos made or all of the audio made. You need to give them so much data. And the only way to get all of that data is, as we've seen from how AI companies are doing it, just to straight up steal it from people. They will, there was a court case where a company, I believe it was OpenAI. Was it OpenAI or was it Anthropic? I'm not a lawyer. Please don't quote me on this. There was an AI company that got sued because they trained their models by pirating thousands and thousands, and I think it was on the order of millions of books that people wrote, people put their livelihoods into, and they just pirated all that work and then fed it into their AI model and trained it on that. And fun fact about AI is because it's a statistical model, it gives you the statistically most likely to be said next thing. It is surprisingly easy to get it to just spit that copyrighted work back out. You can convince it to just regurgitate whatever book it was stolen in order to train it. You can just convince it to just spit it right back out. So awesome. This is a means of piracy. And there is a lot of debate to be had on piracy, but a big multi-billion dollar corporation doing it in order to make billions and billions of dollars, I think people can generally agree is ethically really fucking awful. There's a debate to be had on access to the arts and to literature and to media among the lower class, among people who can't necessarily afford it. I think there's a fair debate to be had there, though I'm not going to get into that there. But a mega corporation stealing everyone's work in order to make themselves potentially billions of dollars, that's hard no for me on that. That is evil. That is unethical. I do not tolerate that. So fun fact about YouTube, there was a news report a few months ago, as of this recording in early November of 2025, about how YouTube is feeding about 1% of all videos uploaded to their platform into training their generative AI models. Horrible. So I upload several hundred videos a year, something on the order of like, I upload one every day for Final Fantasy XIV and then 3 a week for other playthroughs, so that's another 150, so maybe about just shy of 600 videos a year. So about 6 of my videos a year are being ingested into this AI model, and I don't want my videos going to be training these. I am opposed to it. So yeah, that's why I'm against YouTube right now. What are my other issues with generative AI? I just want to really lay out the groundwork for here's why I'm so opposed to this. Another major issue is these models, in order to be as good as they are, good in quotes, they need to have a ton of power going to them. To have one person's prompts answered, it will often take an entire specialized graphics card that is designed for AI workflows, just working for possibly a couple of seconds. For a particularly complex prompt, it can take multiple graphics cards, multiple seconds. Okay, that doesn't necessarily sound that bad. That's only a couple seconds. But these are very, very powerful graphics cards. These are I don't have the numbers on hand, but I would estimate in the thousands of watts of power. For up to several seconds per prompt, per user. So you see the issue there. It's a lot of power just off the bat. Per prompt. It's already I think the number I saw was 10 to 100 times more energy hungry than a simple classic Google search back before AI was a thing. So that's a huge increase in energy. And then the number of people using it and the number of prompts they're giving the AI makes that 10 to 100 times. That's a lot of additional power being used. That's horrible. That's really, really destructive. We have seen there's evidence, pretty strong evidence, I think convincing, like fact, at this point we can call it fact, that these AI data centers, wherever they exist, they take up so much electricity and water that they cause brownouts or blackouts in their communities. And they cause droughts. They are actively causing droughts in the areas where these data centers are built because it takes so much water to cool them and it takes so much electricity to run them. It is causing huge damage to communities. And also all that electricity and water waste not only is damaging communities, but it's also contributing significantly to environmental harm in the form of all the carbon that's generated and put into the atmosphere from generating that electricity. And the droughts also have effects on the local wildlife, the plants, the ability to grow food, to drink water, to take a bath. It is really, really, really bad. And of course, can you guess where they're putting these data centers? Low-income communities, particularly where there's a lot of marginalized people who can't really afford to fight back against this because they're already struggling to get by. Yeah, no, I'm very much opposed to this. Other issues with AI. Oh, right, and don't forget that I was just talking about like text prompts. Was the scale I was thinking for like how much electricity and water these AI data centers are using. Audio, video are gonna take a lot more. And guess what YouTube's doing with their AI? Audio and especially video, which takes a lot more. Okay, what else do I have an issue with? Let's see. How about the fact that AI companies really, really, really want to use generative AI in order to replace their workers? Which, y'all, we have an unemployment issue in the U.S. already. I live in the U.S., so that's the perspective I'm coming from. We have an unemployment issue here already. There are, despite what the unemployment numbers say at like 4 or 5%, we've had government officials who work in Bureau of Labor Statistics, labor bureaus, who have said like, hey, sure, our unemployment numbers aren't that bad, but people still aren't making enough money or getting enough hours to make ends meet. So while we may not necessarily have an unemployment issue, we have a severe underemployment issue. Like, there was a number that came out recently in a few news articles that 60% of Americans don't make enough money to live to an acceptable bare minimum quality of life. 60% of people in the US, that's 60%. That's over half. And now you want AI to replace people, to leave them without jobs. I don't think I really need to explain the problem here. If AI is not seemingly creating new jobs to replace the ones that it's destroying, it's just trying to eliminate those jobs with a technology that, as mentioned before, does not have a concept of truth or correctness or what it means to be right. So you're replacing people with a technology that has no self-regulation, no way to, like, you have to check what it's doing is correct, and like you're firing the people. It would be cheaper to just have the people do it right in the first place rather than have the AI do it and then have the people go in and be like, oh, that's wrong, I have to redo all this work. And we have an underemployment issue already. 6% of the US doesn't meet a bare minimum quality of life because we don't get paid enough. And y'all, not only that, one of the first things they try to put AI towards replacing is they want AI to replace creative work. You know, the most fundamentally human type of work, creative work, art, music. They want to replace that. When, like, ask any layperson what kind of jobs they'd like to be replaced with AI in a hypothetical utopian society where we don't need to worry about unemployment, and they're going to be talking about, like, the busy work, the work that people don't really want to do, like bureaucracy or, like, I don't know, maintenance type tasks, the busy work that we need to make society run, the jobs that take people away from being able to do the fun things that make life worth living, like the creative works and the arts. And you want to replace the stuff that people want to do instead of the stuff that people want to be replaced. I don't want to support this fucking AI bullshit. I'm uploading this video to YouTube because that is where my audience is, and I want to let people know why I am quitting YouTube. If YouTube ever gets to a point where they're no longer pulling this bullshit, or if regulations ever get to a point where I can feel confident that I can opt out of my work being used to train generative AI, or even better, if this generative AI shit just goes away, crashes and burns, it's not even a thing people care about anymore. If it goes the way of NFTs, and I wish the way cryptocurrency would go, if it goes the way of NFTs, I would love to come back to YouTube because that is where people go to watch videos online. But it's just gameplay videos. I have fun doing it. Entertaining people is a worthwhile endeavor. I've heard from people who have been really, really sad that I'm quitting my videos because it's very entertaining to them. I guess people do like my videos, which is awesome. I love that I can entertain people and bring some happiness to people's days or help them out if they're stuck in a part in a video game. I love that I can use it as a platform to analyze the themes that are being presented. I don't do that as much as I should, but it's just video game videos. It's just gameplay videos. Not feeding the AI slot machine is, I think, more important than the gameplay videos. Keep an eye on my blog or here. I will let you know if I find some other way to distribute my videos. I have an idea, which would be a bit of a technical hurdle for people. I know I don't want it to be my primary means of distributing my videos, but it might be the only reasonable way. But if I can figure out some other way to get my videos out there, I will let you know through my blog or through maybe the Patreon. I will republish it if I figure something out, and I'll try and upload a video here when I know what I'm doing. But it's just gameplay videos. I miss doing it already. It's only been a couple weeks, but it's just gameplay videos. So hopefully the alternative ideas for distributing my videos works out. The main ideas I've had would be a technical hurdle either for y'all to watch or for me to get it set up. And if I were to set it up in a way that would be easier on y'all, it would be very, very expensive for me. So yeah. All right. That's it. I'm going to keep working on videos in the background, and I'm just going to make a big stockpile, and if I can figure something out, then you're just going to get a whole bunch of videos at once. Awesome. I'll try and finish off Chained Echoes. I've got some plans for Final Fantasy XIV to make that go a little bit. I don't know if it'll go smoother or if it'll go worse with these change in plans that I have for it. We'll see. I might go back to the old format once I figured out how it's feeling. But yeah, I'll see everyone at some point. Have a good day, everyone. Sorry about this.